Almost everything you know about watering a lawn is backwards. It's mid-July in Columbus. Normal high is 85 degrees Fahrenheit. This week it's 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Your grass isn't growing anymore. Above 87 degrees Fahrenheit, cool season grass basically shuts down. So you did the responsible thing. You watered every evening after work. Here's the reversal. That evening water sits on the blade all night. 10 hours wet, maybe more. That's the #1 cause of brown patch. Meanwhile, your neighbor blasts his sprinklers at noon and loses 20 to 30% of it to plain evaporation. You're both wrong. Your lawn doesn't want water every day. It wants 1 to 1.5 inches, once a week, at the right hour. There is a right hour. Nobody told you. I'm Andrew Collins. I'm 51. I live in Columbus, Ohio. Started mowing at 12, pushing my dad's old snapper on Saturday mornings. Didn't know it then. That was the whole career, right there. Founded Andrew's Lawn Care at 23. Ran it 25 years. Sprinklers, timers, sod, all of it. Sold the business 3 years ago. 2 good kids who used to work for me run it now. These days, the only lawn I touch is mine. Scout the dog helps, mostly by digging holes in it. And yours. Yours too, if you'll let me. That's the deal with this channel. 25 years of other people's lawns. Now I just tell you what actually works. No truck to fill with gas, no invoice to write. Just the stuff I wish I'd told people sooner. Here's the deal. Stick with me, because the next few minutes save you about $300 a year. That's wasted water. That's reseeding a dead lawn in September. Real money, gone for nothing. July is the month that decides everything. Survive July, your lawn sees fall. Blow July, you're buying grass seed. 2 things are coming. The exact watering window, down to the hour. And the part your lawn service hopes you skip. That one costs them money, costs you nothing. Stick around, it's worth it. Quick pause. 30 seconds. Everything I know goes into one ebook at andrewsgreen.com. The full watering schedule, the products worth buying, the stuff to skip entirely. 25 years of it, boiled down. Costs less than 1 bag of the fancy fertilizer. That's it. That's the pitch. You won't hear about it again today. I promised myself that, and I keep my promises. Mostly to Linda. Now let's get back to your grass, because it's still sitting out there in the heat, waiting on you. Real talk. I need to level with you on a couple things. 25 years, I sold irrigation timers, sold whole watering programs. Some of it, people flat out didn't need. I'll own that. The title on this video promises an exact time. Real talk again. It's a window, not a single minute. Your grass doesn't own a watch. Neither do I. Now, the regional flag. This video teaches Kentucky bluegrass. Also tall fescue, both on Columbus clay soil. That's my turf, literally. If you're growing Bermuda, different animal. St. Augustine, same deal. Totally different rules. Warm season grass runs on its own clock. I'll flag that again later, when it actually matters. But if you've got cool season grass, sitting on clay like mine, you're exactly who this video is for. No guessing, no fluff. Here's the deal. I'm not selling you a program today. I'm just telling you what the grass actually needs. Honest advice, right region, right soil. Stick with me. The science comes next. You got to think like a blade of grass. Sounds silly. Stick with me. A fungal spore needs one thing to hatch out. Free water sitting on the leaf. That's it. Water it all evening. That film sits there 10 hours. Spore wakes up, throws a party, brown patch by Thursday. Not your fault. Nobody told you. Now flip it. Water at noon in July? Different problem entirely. Between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., you've got peak heat, peak sun, peak wind. That's evaporation's favorite window. Half your water never even reaches the roots. Here's another one nobody explains. Water a little every day, and you train the roots lazy. They stay up near the surface, chasing that daily sip. First, real dry stretch. Those shallow roots panic. That's a drought-vulnerable lawn, and you built it yourself. Now, your soil. Columbus clay is heavy stuff. It only absorbs water at about 0.1 to 0.25 inches an hour. Pour it on faster than that, it just runs off. Straight into the driveway. Straight into the storm drain. Let's talk dormancy for a second, because it looks like death. It's not. The crown, that's the growing point at the base, stays alive down there. Blades up top can die back completely. Crown just needs a little moisture to hang on. Think of it like a bear, sleeping, not dead. One more thing to watch for, and it's free. A healthy, hydrated lawn cools itself. It sweats, basically, through transpiration. Walk across it, footprints bounce back in minutes. Grass stressed for water stays flat. Footprints that don't spring back, that's the first warning light on the dashboard. So here's the whole mechanism, boiled down. Wet all night breeds disease. Wet at noon gets wasted. Shallow and frequent breeds weak roots. Clay demands patience. The crown just needs a little help to survive. Water like the grass, not like the clock. Okay, slow down with me here. This is the part people mess up. Write this down. Total target is 1 to 1.5 inches a week. That includes rainfall, not daily sips. 1 or 2 deep sessions. That's it. Here's the deal. Clay won't take it all at once. Remember that number, 0.1 to 0.25 inches an hour. Pour faster, it runs off. So we cheat it. It's called cycle and soak. Split each session into 2 or 3 shorter runs, 10 to 15 minutes each. Then pause. Let it soak in for 30 to 60 minutes. Then go again. Now, how do you know what an inch even looks like? Rookie mistake. I've made it. Twice. Grab some tuna cans. Straight sides, nothing fancy. Set a few around the yard. Run your sprinkler. Time how long it takes to fill 1 inch. Write that number down. Now you know your system exactly. Money talk. An oscillating sprinkler runs $15 to $40. A mechanical hose timer, $25 to $45. Want it smart? A Wi-Fi timer runs $50 to $90. Total entry cost, $40 to $130. Cheap, easy, done. In-ground systems are a different animal. Installation runs $2,500 to $6,000, sometimes more. Then $150 to $300 a year just keeping it running. Real talk. That buys you convenience. It doesn't buy you better science. The tuna can still tells the truth either way. Look, fancy pipes don't know your clay from mine. You do now. Cheap gear, right timing, beats an expensive system on autopilot. Every time. Here's the part everybody gets wrong. Not the amount, the clock. Write this down. The window is 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., finished by 10 a.m., latest. Here's why. Sun's low, wine's calm, air's cool. Water actually soaks in instead of vanishing into the sky. Now the worst window. Anything after 6 p.m. evening, night, doesn't matter. You already know why. 10 hours of wet grass. Disease loves it. Midday's next on the list. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., second worst, different reason. Not a disease problem, a waste problem. Heat and wind just burn it off before roots ever see it. Late afternoon, 4 to 6 p.m., that's your compromise slot. Not perfect, livable. Enough daylight left to dry the blades before dark. Look, I get it. Nobody's waking up at 4 a.m. to drag a hose across the yard. That's what timers are for. Set your automatic timer to start between 4:30 and 5 a.m. Around here in July, sunrise runs 6:10 to 6:45. That cycle finishes right as the sun's coming up. Grass gets watered. Blades dry out fast. Fungus never gets its 10 hours. Real talk. 10 minutes earlier or later won't ruin your lawn. Nobody's grading you on the minute. But 2 p.m. instead of 5 a.m., that's the mistake that costs you. That's the whole ball game, timing-wise. Everything else is just execution. Dad rule, 8 words, here it is. Water at dawn, dry by dark. Now you've got a decision to make, a real one. Nobody else is going to say this part out loud. Option A, keep the lawn green all summer. Full schedule, 1 to 1.5 inches a week, every week. Option B, let Kentucky bluegrass sleep. Water just 0.25 to 0.5 inch every 2 to 3 weeks. Enough to keep the crowns alive, nothing more. Both work. Here's the rule that actually matters. Never flip-flop between them. Wake it up, let it sleep. Wake it up again, and you're draining the tank. Grass stores carbohydrate reserves to survive dormancy. Flip-flopping burns through that reserve. Do it enough times, the lawn just doesn't wake up. Pick one in June. Ride it out to September. Real talk on the grass types. because they're not the same animal. Tall fescue handles the sleep option better. Deeper roots, tougher constitution. It shrugs off dormancy like it's no big deal. Kentucky bluegrass is trickier. Here's the upside though. It spreads by rhizomes underground. Damage some, it repairs itself. Self-healing grass. Tall fescue can't do that trick. It grows in bunches. No rhizomes, no spreading. Bald spot shows up, it stays bald. You're reseeding that patch in September. So know your grass before you pick your lane. Pick a lane. Stay in it. Time to clear out the folklore. Every neighborhood's got a guy who swears by this stuff. Myth number 1. Water droplets act like little magnifying glasses. Scorch the grass right up. Sounds convincing. It's false. No turf researcher anywhere backs that one up. Sunlight doesn't work that way on a blade of grass. Myth number 2. Brown lawn means dead lawn. Also false. Brown usually means dormant. The crown's still alive down there, sleeping. You learned that one already. Myth number 3, and this one costs real money. More water is always better in a heat wave. Dump extra water on clay. Here's what actually happens. It runs off. Roots stay shallow. Disease moves in. That's the opposite of help. Myth number 4. Water every day when it's hot. Feels responsible. It's backwards. Daily light watering breeds shallow roots. It also feeds disease. Deep and infrequent beats, daily and shallow, every time. Now, wetting agents. You've seen them at the store. Real talk. They help hydrophobic soil. They help compacted soil too. Average clay lawn like mine? Optional. Timing and cycle and soak already do the job. Look, folklore's fun at a barbecue. It's terrible lawn science. My old man used to say, trust the grass, not the gossip. Water the mechanism. Ignore the myth. Timing gets you most of the way there. A few free habits multiply it. Here's the biggest one, and it costs nothing. Raise that mower deck to 3 to 4 inches in summer. Taller grass shades the soil. Shaded soil holds water longer. Deeper blades mean deeper roots. That's the whole trick right there. Now, mow sharp and mow dry. A dull blade rips the grass instead of cutting it. Ripped tips lose water fast. Wet clippings clump up and spread disease around your yard. Trust me, I learned this one the hard way. Real talk. Skip the nitrogen fertilizer in July. Feed a heat-stressed lawn and you force new growth it can't support. That's like sprinting in 95-degree heat. Save the heavy feeding for September. Fall's the real growing season anyway. Grass cycling helps too. Just leave those clippings on the lawn. They break down fast. They return moisture and nutrients for free. Doesn't cause thatch either. That's an old myth, plain and simple. Okay, jokes aside for 30 seconds. If you're spraying anything for weeds this month, read the label first. Labels often warn against spraying above certain temperatures. That label is federal law, not a suggestion. Follow it exactly, every single time. Mow high, mow sharp, skip the summer feed. Let's put this on a calendar, because context matters. July is peak stress month, full stop. Water pre-dawn, 1 to 1.5 inches a week. Mow it 3 to 4 inches. Zero fertilizer. That's the whole July playbook. September flips the script completely. Soil temps drop to 50 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit and keep falling. That's prime seeding season. Overseeding season too. Nitrogen comes back on the menu. Now, where does any of this actually come from? Not some guy's blog. Land-grant universities have run turfgrass research for decades. That 1 inch a week number came out of their extension programs. Ohio State runs one. So does every other ag school in the country. That whole system traces back to 1914. The Smith-Lever Act, real law, still standing. Built the cooperative extension system from scratch. Even the fancy stuff traces back the same direction. Smart controllers run ET-based scheduling now. That math comes from something called the Penman-Monteith equation. Sounds complicated. It's just weather math for water loss. Here's the thing though. That dawn watering rule predates all of it. Old science, still correct. Trust the research, not the trend. Let's talk real numbers now, honest ones. Kill a cool season lawn, seed alone runs 10 cents to 20 cents a square foot. That's $90 to $200 for a 5,000 square foot yard. Just seed. Not labor, not straw, not your Saturday. Real talk. Perfect timing doesn't make you bulletproof. Grubs don't care about your schedule. Chinch bugs don't read the label. Timing cuts disease and waste. It won't stop every bug in Ohio. Same with compaction. Water hits severely compacted clay, it still won't soak in. Doesn't matter how perfect your window is. You need aeration first. No shortcut around that one. Here's another one nobody mentions. Your city might not care about your ideal schedule. Drought hits, watering restrictions kick in. That's the law now, not a suggestion. Check your local rules before you set that timer. Now, dormancy has a limit too. Push past 4 to 6 weeks in severe drought, you're risking the crown itself. That's not sleeping anymore. That's dying slow. So let's be honest about July. It's not the month for a beautiful lawn. Real recovery happens in fall. September does the healing. Your job in July is simpler than that. Keep it alive, just alive. Survive July, thrive in September. Let's talk about who actually profits from all this. Look, there's no guy in a tower cackling over your sprinkler settings. Nobody's scheming against you. It just pays better to sell an 8-visit program than to explain a $12 rain gauge. Think about it. There's no money in telling someone to water at 5 a.m. for free. Nobody runs a commercial for that. You can't bottle it. Can't upsell it either. Real talk. In-ground systems aren't a scam. Add-on products aren't a scam. They're just not the timing science itself. You can buy convenience. You can't buy dawn. Nobody's out to get you. They're just selling what pays. Sell the science, not the system. This weekend, here's all I want you to do. Task 1 costs nothing. Grab some tuna cans. Calibrate that sprinkler. Task 2, set your timer. Start at 4:30 to 5 a.m. Finish before 10 a.m. Task 3, raise that mower deck 3 to 4 inches before your next cut. That's it. 3 tasks, 0 excuses. Now drop a comment. Tell me your city and state. Tell me what your lawn's doing right now. And tell me your worst lawn fail. I read every single one. Next time, we talk fall overseeding. That's the real comeback story. Keep your blade sharp, keep your lines straight, and I'll see you out in the yard.